Ripped in back is Necas. Heischer flicks in. Save made Tokarski. Right back for Heischer. Another low drive. And Tokarski battles. Puck still loose. It's out in front of the Canes netminder. Mercer wants to get a stick, but Svechnikov will come away.
I think Necas may have saved a goal after the big Tokarski first save.
Oh, huge opportunity there. Now it's Walker. Tees it up. Orlov, he scores! D to tied in Raleigh. It's 1-1. Orlov blisters it home. Back for Burns. And they set something up here. Kotkaniemi with it. He scores! Through traffic. It's deflected out in front. Jackson Blake. The rookie gets the stick to it. And Carolina scores on the power play to take a 3-2 lead.
Hi, everyone. It's the Canes Corner podcast. I am Adam Gold, and thank you very much for spending some time. Wow. So normally it's not that hard to come up with 3 or so highlights to start this procedure, but my gosh, there were about 15 different plays that we could have played tonight to get us going. But boy, that was a fun game. That was a fun game just in the third period. I'm not sure it was as fun the first 2 periods. North Carolina was good throughout the entire game, but there wasn't as much, action. There weren't as many grade A scoring chances. This game didn't really look anything like yesterday's game, other than Carolina was good, because Carolina was good yesterday as well. Just didn't win it. But this game in the third period had everything. So we got a lot of stuff to do. We're going to go through, we'll go through the comment chat here in a second. Hello from down under. Aussie Caniac says, "G'day." I don't know if I said that right or not. There are just tons of comments here. Obviously, everybody is having a good time. We're brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it is for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanna and his crew do a great job. You should check them out for all of your exterior home improvement needs. aluminumcompany.com. William checks in with the Appalachian Longleaf IPA for the second straight night. Says it tasted better tonight. California Dreamin' for James. Gutsy win for Michael. Or is it Michelle? I think it's Michelle. Vernon is checking in with the Raleigh Brewing Coffee Hidden Pipe Porter. And it tastes way better than hot chocolate. A lot of things do, by the way. And that's a reference to yesterday where I stole one of my son's chocolate cocoa bombs, or whatever they're called. And I was just utterly disappointed by the quality of the hot cocoa. But very few things in this world disappoint more consistently than hot cocoa. It's just this. It should be better. That's my point. It just should be better. Let's see what else we've got. We have an Eric Holla thread. Eric Holla sleeps with his socks on. Oh, hi to Ryan in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Eric Holla sleeps with his socks on. Eric Holla likes ketchup on mac and cheese. That's pretty gross. Eric Holla thinks hot dog is a sandwich. Hey, wait, Blake. A hot dog is a sandwich. Stop. Eric Holla doesn't think Die Hard is a Christmas movie. All right, now, Blake, you're just trying to troll me. It's not a Christmas movie, but it's fine. Eric Holla thinks the world is flat. Hoke County says, hi, Eric Holla smells like beef and cheese. Okay, that's just, man, you guys made me laugh tonight, so thank you very much for that. All right, let's see how much we can cover over the next, 25 or 30 minutes, because there's a lot here. There was a lot in this game. There was a lot just in the third period. So I'm going to run through a whole bunch of topics, and we'll kind of touch on a little bit, because I also want to get to the moments of the game. First of all, Congratulations to the head coach. 300 wins, not an insignificant number. It happened faster than any coach in NHL history. I have a hard time believing that. 300 wins in 488 games. He's an elite head coach. And I think if I could just go off on a very, very quick tangent here. This team has had a lot of success, but at the same time, not as much success as they would have liked, and I think as some fans would have liked. I do think that we forget a couple things when it comes to teams having success. We forget, A, how freaking hard it is, and we forget how much luck is needed. Because luck is needed. And the examples for that, I can just go back to 2006. Canes lost 2 games at home to start the opening series of the playoffs. They were not the best team in the NHL that year, by the way. They finished second in the Eastern Conference. I believe Ottawa was the first seed. But the Hurricanes go to Montreal. They were not solving Cristobal Huet. And they got a lucky goal from Rod Brindamore to make it to tie the game at 1 about with 10 minutes left in the third period. Now, we can sit here all day long and say that the Hurricanes would have won that series anyway, but it was really a shot that was kind of deflected off of Sheldon Soure's stick and beat the goaltender. That's how Carolina got even. They needed luck there. So it takes a fair amount of luck on top of the fact that you need to have a great team in order to win the Stanley Cup. And I think we have taken that for granted as a fan base. Because the winning has been essentially like automatic. For 3 years, they were maybe not the best team in the conference. Well, 1 year they were. All right. Remember the crazy pandemic Central? They actually had the best record in the East, if you will. The 2 best records in the league were, I believe, Colorado and Vegas that year. They played in the same division out west. So, look, the Hurricanes have been an outstanding team in the regular season. 6 years in a row. Have won a playoff series, at least their first playoff series, every year in the 6 years. So I think we can get a little spoiled here because there is a kind of a, I don't know, a thread, I'm just going to use that term, kind of flowing around that Rod's out of ideas or he's holding this team back. I'm not even going to address, I'm not going to go into the you're crazy or anything like that. That ain't happening. This team, for all of their faults over the last about a month, they are now, 6-8-0 in their last 14 games. And they've struggled. They've struggled to score. The goal scoring has kind of dried up. And they don't have awesome goaltending. Got good goaltending tonight from Dustin Tokarski. But he didn't have to be great. So, this is still a very good team. It's got some structural challenges among the forward group that probably won't be addressed during the season, that might be addressed in the offseason via free agency. We'll see. But they do have some structural things that we have talked about before. And they have a goaltending problem. Doesn't mean the goaltending can't be good enough. It was good enough tonight. For the most part, Kochetkov was good enough yesterday. But I think we can lose sight of the fact that This is still one of the best teams in the entire NHL in spite of a month of pretty nondescript hockey. With that said, let's move on to tonight's game. Physical game, chippy game, dirty game in the third period. So there were two major incidents, and then there were little things along the way. Martin Necas, who earlier in the game laid out Timo Meier with a clean check behind the net. Great to see that from Marty. I want to see more of that from Marty. I want to see more of that from Svechnikov and Kotkaniemi. We had those three guys together as a line tonight. The only line that wasn't really good, by the way. Those three guys together as a line tonight. And they're all 6'3-ish, 200-ish pounds. And they need to play physical, all of them. I realize it's not Necas' game. Make it part of your game, Marty. Ondrej, be the power forward you're supposed to be. Jesperi, this is your ticket. Be physical. And I want to give him credit for standing up for Necas after the Meier hit. In the third period, it was the Meier hit to Necas, which I believe to have been a clean hit. Yes, it was definitely knee to knee, but that was not the intent. There's no way that was the intent. He leaned in with the shoulder. He doesn't extend the leg. It's in a natural position. I think the referees completely messed that up. And what I think happened was they legislated what they thought to be the result. Because when they went back and looked at the video, they went, oh my, Necas' knee is messed up. That's what I said. That's what I thought. And I believe they assessed Timo Meier the 5-minute major because of that. And then Necas comes right back onto the ice. So that pissed off New Jersey. I'd have been pissed too if I were New Jersey. Because then you think, well, Necas, drew it, faked it, whatever. I don't believe that to be the case. But that's the way it goes in the National Hockey League. So I thought that was a clean hit. I thought Carolina got the benefit of the doubt, and which is, I guess, happening a lot lately. And the Canes ended up scoring that power play goal, that Jackson Blake power play goal, the deflection of the Kotkaniemi shot. So I'll talk about KK here in a minute. Then you had the Erik Haula. Well, he does this all the time. Haula, for whatever reason, didn't like Necas. I will never, ever, ever forget Erik Haula's, 4 months here, being in the locker room after a game and watching Haula, scold Necas like he was a child. And Necas just wearing it because it was his first year in the NHL, first real year in the NHL. And at that point, I'm like, oh man, this ain't good. And Haula eventually got traded. But every single time that Haula has played against the Hurricanes, he has gone out of his way to give Necas extra. And this was his opportunity to go extra on Necas. And then Haula went extra on Dmitry Orlov. This was a dirty hit. I don't know how the referees screwed that up, but they did. Whatever. Clear shot to the head. Targeted the head. Who knows if Haula doesn't get something from the league for it. Either way, it was part of a super fun third period. And then Dmitry Orlov with the, let me go to the bench to get a towel, not leave the ice, wipe off my nose, which is broken, and then go attack Erik Haula. Loved every second of that. So that was the third period. The Devils got chippy, and I want to thank them for it. I want to thank the Devils for it because I think that kind of woke Carolina up. Not that Carolina wasn't good anyway. They were good all game. But I liked the fact that that game got chippy, and I hope that this will carry over for the Hurricanes to future games. I am a true believer. I don't like dirty hockey, but I think if you want to be successful, in April, into May, into June, you cannot do it without playing physical hockey. And I think, and I've said this before, I think the Hurricanes have trouble with physicality, with teams that are big and will throw the body around. It's kind of what Washington does. It's kind of what Dallas has done, Vegas. And I think in the playoffs, Florida, in the playoffs, that's what these teams do. And if you are not ready to engage, it's just that much more difficult to win. Playoff hockey is physical hockey. And I think over the last month, Carolina's been very finessey. You have to play a physical game. You have to bring a little bit of an edge to the rink. And that's what I think happened because New Jersey brought it out of them tonight. Now, Carolina was better off the jump. I thought Carolina was the better team right away. I thought Carolina was the better team in the first period. They gave up the first goal on a mistake. Kotkaniemi gets his pocket picked. Paul Cotter takes it from him in the neutral zone, skates right down the middle of the ice, puts a move on Dustin Tokarski, opens him up and tucks it home for 1-0. And that's a tough way to all of a sudden fall behind. Dmitry Orlov got Carolina even at the end of the second with an absolute bomb of a shot. And then the third period was the third period after Carolina fell behind quickly. 1 minute and 5 seconds in, Jesper Bratt puts a dirty move on Jacob Slavin, and then he gets to the front of the net, and his pass goes behind Burns right to Ondrej Palat, who just taps it home. All of a sudden, Carolina, who's been dominating the game, is down 2-1, and then you get the break. And I know people don't, you forget these things. You forget how much luck plays a role. Like Luke Hughes' goal that made it 3-2 after, who was it that scored to make it? Burns scored on the power play yesterday to tie the game at 2 early in the second period. The Luke Hughes goal, man, that's luck. Remember the play? Luck. It's a blocked shot by Burns that just fell right to Hughes. And it fell flat to Hughes. No bouncing puck. Carolina had a rebound opportunity tonight. Puck fell right to Jack Roslovic, but it was like 8 inches behind him. So he couldn't get to it. If it falls, again, 8 inches closer to the net, it's a goal for Roslovic because it was an empty net. Not quite as empty as the empty net goal he missed before scoring into the empty net, but either way. Luck plays a role. And Carolina hadn't had a lot of luck in the last month. But the Aho goal tonight was luck because it's a bad goal. Jake Allen played an otherwise good game. Let up a soft goal. And that soft goal came 51 seconds after the Devils had taken a 2-1 lead. Carolina was the better team and trailed 2-1 and then got the break on the Aho goal. They got even and they went to work. Now, they got a little help from the Meier major penalty and they scored on that power play. Jackson Blake getting the goal. I thought he was excellent all night long anyway, but he gets the goal on the deflection. We're about to I'm about to start talking about Kotkaniemi here in a minute. And then the gorgeous pass from Jarvis to Roslovic makes it 4-2. Carolina wins it from there. All right, let me get to Kotkaniemi. That line was Carolina's fourth best line tonight. I wish it wasn't the case because those are right now three hugely important players for Carolina. Necas, but here's the thing about it. While I don't think any of those three guys played a really good game tonight, I thought they had moments. Now, I've already mentioned the Kotkaniemi, he had his pocket pick for the first goal. And I thought it was an otherwise nondescript performance from him. And I would say the same for Necas and Svechnikov. But Kotkaniemi also made two of the best plays of the night, or was involved in two of the best moments of the night. Because when Necas is hit in the middle of the rink and he goes down, nobody knows really what happens. No, not everybody's watching that. And again, we saw the replay. I thought the hit was fine. I mean, there was knee to knee. There's no question about that. But I don't think that was the intent. I just think that happened. Kotkaniemi is the one that stood up for Necas. Full marks. Full marks for that. And then he makes the play on the power play. Right? He comes out of the box because he had to spend the first 2 minutes of that in the penalty box. He comes out of the box. Now, he didn't go right onto the ice. He went across and then came on eventually. But he gets to the middle. He's got a great shot. We need to see him use it more. And he wires a wrist shot on net. And Jackson Blake's in front, gets the deflection past Jake Allen, and there's your lead. So even though it wasn't a good game for Kotkaniemi, he had two great moments. Great moments. And sometimes those great moments make you forget the fact that it wasn't a great game. Martin Necas, I didn't think was all that good tonight. But he made maybe the play of the game when Ty Smith, who was quarterbacking the first power play unit, interesting, Ty Smith, I don't know what he was trying to do. I was trying to keep the puck in the offensive zone on the penalty, on a power play, but he didn't get the puck. And here come the Devils 3-on-1, shorthanded, against Dustin Tokarski. And the one for Carolina is Necas. And I want to give him credit because I can't even describe what happened because it all happened so slowly. And I'm not sure New Jersey didn't screw up a 3-on-1 with a forward whose strength isn't defense as the only guy back. But ultimately, Nico Hischier never gave the puck up, and Necas bothered him enough. Look, Devils could have scored, probably should have scored, but didn't. And Necas slowed it down enough, and then, I believe, got a piece of a drive, a shot that helped it not go in. Because that shorthanded goal would have been a killer, but it wasn't. So credit to Necas. And I thought Ondrej had some good moments. We're still waiting. I think he is searching for it. It'll come. It'll come. I would really like to see Svechnikov play with Aho and Jarvis. I know Roslovic had 2 goals tonight, and he was one of the 3 stars of the game. I thought he was maybe Carolina's 11th best player tonight. But regardless, he had a 3-point night, right? I would like to see Svechnikov play there. And I'm not so sure that I don't want to see Jackson Blake play up with, right now, Kotkaniemi and Necas. I realize it's probably not a good idea. I just think Jackson Blake needs, more ice time. I do. I think Blake has, in these 2 games, I think he's been great. I loved his game tonight. Again, before the goal, I loved his game. And he would have been, I mean, he was like my 4th star. To me, my 3 stars were Orlov 3, Jarvis 2. Jarvis was the best forward tonight. Slavin 1. Slavin was the best player tonight. I know he was on the ice for the Palat goal that made it 2-1, but my gosh, he was good tonight. Loved every second of his game other than the goal that was scored. But I thought Blake was excellent. I thought Aho was excellent. I loved Sean Walker tonight. Tyson Jost was good again. Dustin Tokarski was solid. Just had to be solid. So, I mean, there were tons of guys that could have gotten stars. But I want to give credit to the guys who didn't play as well that somehow managed to find a way to make an impact, a positive impact in the game. And sometimes you can, like, turn a bad game into a good game simply by making a big play. And I think certainly in the case of Necas and Kotkaniemi, they absolutely did. We've been looking for the Aho line to be impactful in the game. Oh, it was impactful in the game. It dominated as good. Like, Jack Hughes is always noticeable. Always. He is just that kind of an electric skater. But the Aho line pretty much ran him tonight. Aho was great. Jarvis, again, the best player on that line. Roslovic was obviously good. But, man, that's about 20 and 24. And I know we're going to remember the 2 shorthanded chances, the breakaway, which not a great breakaway in terms of he was pressured from behind and probably had to get the shot off a little quicker than he would have liked. But the 2-on-1, if he doesn't have to settle the puck, he has a better chance to score. He gave Allen time to get over. And that's really a guy fighting his shooting confidence. So what I'm hoping is that the cheap goal that he scored to tie the game will have the effect of getting his offense going. But we can't even talk about it because we've been doing things like that for the last month and a half. Well, maybe that'll get this player going. I said this before about Sebastian. I think we all know, and he knows, and he said it. He hasn't played anything close to his best yet. We are 36 games into the season. Not even close to his best. And as I've said, I'd give him a B+ for the season. Nothing better than that. But the reason I give him a B+ is he's done a great job in the faceoff circle. And for all of his faults, he's better than a point a game. We should all struggle like Sebastian Aho. But in his case, the plus-minus number kind of matters. They've not been good 5-on-5. It's good to see him get a 5-on-5 goal. +4 tonight. Seth Jarvis, +4 tonight. Also has not been a great run for Jarvis. But the reason I brought Aho up is in this stretch of, indifference not the right word, just not Aho-like play, he's still been better than a point a game. Even in this little stretch, he's been better than a point a game. We want our guys to be on the score. Our best players need to be on the score sheet. Well, before tonight, Svechnikov, 1 goal in 8. Now it's 1 goal in 9. Blake hadn't scored in 13. KK had 2 points in his last 8 games. It's a big assist for him tonight. Necas, 9 games, now 10 games without a goal. Jarvis has 1 in his last 9 games, now 1 in his last 10. So they need their guys to score. They need their guys to be offensive producers. For all of the kind of indifferent play at times, at least Aho's done that. But with that said, it's no better than a B+. Probably I might be giving him the benefit of the doubt just for that. And if we're grading him simply on a Sebastian Aho curve, it's a C. Yet with all that, he's still better than a point a game. So they do need more from their best players. But, man, that line was great tonight. And I think it was great because Jarvis was great and Aho was great. And Roslovic is never going to be a driver, but because he's a great skater and can finish, he reaps the benefits. He's got 16 goals now, Jack Roslovic. Yeah, 16 goals. He has never been, ever, at any point in his career, has he been this productive an offensive player. Should be better than he is, which, frankly, you could probably say that about a lot of players. So, look, there was a lot of good. There's really been a lot of good the last several games, but because we are sometimes blinded by the result, we can forget that there's been a lot of good. Like they played well yesterday in New Jersey, didn't win. Happens. Didn't play. There was nothing good about Nashville. They stunk in Nashville. Played great against the Rangers, won it. Played well against Washington, didn't win. So, but as the guys said, and by the way, it looked very Canes-ish tonight. Keep this in mind. And I realized there was a 3-day holiday break. The Devils really had found their game. Stingy defensively, dangerous offensively, and the Devils had averaged 15.5 shots on goal allowed in their 5-1-0 stretch leading up to the holiday. The Hurricanes put, I think, 31, 31, and 41 shots on them the last two games. Looked like the Hurricanes had kind of rediscovered who they were. The Devils are awesome. Devils could win a Stanley Cup. We'll see what the Hurricanes are about as we crank up New Year's Eve and beyond. The Canes play on Tuesday in Columbus. Then they're in Florida on the 2nd, so that's Thursday. Then they come home for Minnesota on Saturday. They have a little bit of run. I think it's Saturday, Sunday, right? Is it Saturday, Sunday they're home and home? I think it is Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, Sunday. The Sunday home game is at Buffalo? Trying to remember off the top of my head. But it's time to start getting back to playing Hurricanes hockey, but tonight was really good. Now, they still have issues. I mentioned it very briefly. They still have structural issues within the lineup. They can be pushed around, and most of their best players are on the small side. Still going to have to find – this is why it's important for Necas, and Svechnikov, and Kotkaniemi to use their size. We saw it a little bit tonight. We need to see more of it tonight. With all of that said, man, what a fun third period. I hope we see the New Jersey Devils again. That'll be a playoff series. And as I think I said this earlier in the evening, if they see the Devils again, it's probably going to be in the second round of the playoffs. I think when it's all said and done, I think the Devils probably are the best team in the division, especially getting good goaltending. And I don't think Carolina will finish any worse than third. I think ultimately the Hurricanes will end up finishing second to New Jersey. So a meeting with the Devils would mean a second round of the playoffs meeting, and I'm here for that. I trust you guys are as well. It has been a fun game. Howdy from Fort Worth. Nance USMC on Twitter. Good. Thank you very much for your service. Let's Harrisburg, PA. Go Hershey. Which one is it? Richmond, Charlotte. Man, we're everywhere. Thank everybody for tuning in and contributing to the discourse. It's been a fun game. It was a fun game. We got one more game in the calendar year, 2025. Maybe we'll get a little introspective on Tuesday night when the Canes take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. A game where if you don't win that one, this one carries less importance. It's a big game tonight. Not only is it it's a division game, you want to win those, but man, the way you lost the game last night because you were easily good enough to win it. You got out goaltended. Just important to not lose back-to-back games to the Devils. Just really was. I mean, again, I think the Devils have the best roster in the division, and they're getting good goaltending now, so they're going to be a tough team to catch. But good win. Carolina needed a win like this over a good team, and they got it tonight. We're brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it is for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina in Durham. AluminumCompany.com. Thank you so much for spending some time. And this is, of course, available wherever you get your podcast later on. If you want to go back and say, wait, did Gold say that? Which probably happens, I don't know, 85% of the time. You can find it wherever you get your podcast. Until Grant says Hollis sits down when he goes. I have no comment. I have no comment. All right, everybody. We'll see you after the Canes and the Blue Jackets on New Year's Eve. Good night.